We could go get, I'll tell you what, you and Josh could spar. We could bring in the gloves, and I guarantee you he'd beat you. Yeah, I'd give you 10 to 1. I'll bet you 5. Yeah, you can. I don't know if any of you will do that, but we could give you gloves, we could give you headgear, we could even give you a body protector, and I guarantee you.
We don't need all that. We'll do the headgear. That's fine.
All right, well.
He's fast.
He is fast, but you ain't fucking younger, dude. You're you right now. I mean, that ain't gonna matter. Good afternoon. Welcome to the morning. We can't go get the old Jake. We got you. When's the last time you practiced? When's the last time you trained?
A couple of months ago.
Well, and how much when's the last time you were in the ring with somebody? Josh, who would win in a boxing match between you and Jake?
Probably me.
Would it be close?
I mean, the only thing he's got is reach.
Do you know how to overcome that? All right, on to the show. Sit down here. Get cozy. Hey, enough. Get cozy. Ask questions. Like, comment, share the stream. It's 1 o'clock. Wednesday, it's time for Real Estate 101. You don't see me here often, but today you got me because I'm going to talk about something that you need to understand. If you're like some people I know, you want to buy a house, but you're cloudy, you're uncertain to make this decision because you hear the media, you see things on the TV, and it causes you to freeze up, lock up, become undecided. Before we get into that, we always start the show with 60 seconds of gratitude. Who should we be thankful for today, Stevie Z? No, I'm sorry. We give a shout out. Real Estate 101, we give the shout out for somebody. Morning grind and 60 seconds of gratitude. Who are we thankful for today?
I would say we're grateful today because she kind of took the bull by the horns this morning in a couple different ways. Is Brittany.
Brittany Renee? What did she do?
She kind of took the bull by the horn by getting this offices situated and getting some extra shelves and things.
She has done that. She has done
Cleaned up
that.
the back room back there, got a little straightened up.
Well, congratulations. Stevie has given a shout out to my wife, Brittany Renee. I told him to do it. Give me some credit.
Give my 20, Tommy. Give my 20.
Give it to me. So if you don't hear fire away questions, I'm going to, if you got a question about this, I am going to answer. Where are you, Drew? Drew, I heard you're mad because you didn't get that office. Where are you right now? So how many of you are paying attention to the media? You hear we're raising rates. Do you hear that?
I don't pay attention to the media much unless it's what Shannon gives us.
Okay. Does anybody hear anything about what's going on with our interest rates? Why are we raising rates?
Rates follow inflation.
Well, most people don't understand this. They think whenever the Fed announces we're going to raise interest rates, that means mortgage rates are going to go up. It really almost sounds like common sense, but that's not the way mortgage rates work. So whenever the Fed, they're going to monitor inflation. Do you know what inflation is? There is a definition. Do you know, can you think of an example of inflation? I'll give you inflation. Whenever you're going to go buy your weed and it's $80 a bag and then it goes up to $105 a bag, that's inflation. Your weed went up $25, okay? Well, the government doesn't care about the weed. What they do care about, though, is all the other inflation most of the other people have to deal with. Living expenses, rent, housing. They're trying to destroy a lot of this. So today, whenever we went to lunch, and I went to Jonathan's, your favorite place. I got those grilled chicken, what are they called, those tacos? I got the spicy grilled chicken tacos. There's 3 of them, but I don't eat 3 of them. I combine them and I have 2. I had a water, a Diet Coke, and a side of that wild rice.
That's healthy.
It's somewhat healthy, but the bill came out. Guess how much it was at Jonathan's? $28. What would you say it is, Van?
About 16 or 18.
16 or 18. What would you say, Jake? 3 tacos, 3 grilled chicken tacos, ranch,
Probably $20.
some cheese, Diet Coke,
21.
21. It was $23, $24 before the tip.
Got close.
You were the closest. I don't think it was that expensive. I mean, and I never do look at the food bill. Whenever it comes out, I don't pay attention to it. I usually just throw the card up there and move on. But today, she is one of those situations where she didn't take the card. She came and she put the bill down. Normally I just give them the card before the bill comes out because I'm very impatient. Today I looked down, it's $24. I don't think lunches were that expensive 2 years ago. They were probably $16, but the cost of chicken, the cost of all these things have gone up. Well, the Fed, what they've got to do is they've got to get so much money out of the economy. So much money has gone into the economy because of COVID. So whenever there's too much money in the system, it elevates everything. So what happened in 2020? COVID came around. Do you remember COVID? Well, COVID, we started hearing about it probably in December. We didn't believe it was going to be anything. Well, by March, April, they were shutting the economy or shutting the world down pretty much. Well, whenever all the homes didn't come onto the market and all these people got money, what started happening was people were in their home and then they decided, we don't want to live here anymore. We got this money. We can actually, we're in California, we can work mobile. We're in Illinois, we can work mobilely. We're in New York, our job's in New York, but we can move anywhere. And everybody started migrating to the southeast. And I remember one time we looked, weatherman, and there was less than 180 homes in our county on the market. If there's only 180 homes on the market and we're selling 600 a month, just imagine, here's how ridiculous it was. If you had a listing, we'd just call up an investor. Hey, man, we got a 3-bedroom, 2-car garages, 1,400 and whatever square feet. Man, they need to get 370. Can y'all do that? It was that simple. Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll write up a contract and you can buy this house and the investor's going to buy your house. It was crazy what was going on. Normally, a good appreciation in real estate is probably 3 to 5%. That's kind of what inflation, keeping up a little bit more than inflation. So combine that, the Fed took their overnight rates down to 0. I mean, so you could, the loan we have on our house is like 3.125%. But there's some people, I think they got theirs at like 2.8%. I mean, it's almost free money. They're almost paying nothing back in terms of interest. So you combine low interest rates and you combine no homes for sale. The only way people would start to sell their home, let's say if we're at $300,000, well, man, I ain't going to sell my house for $300,000, Then a house sells across the street for $320,000. Then another one goes for $340,000. And the next thing they know, they've decided, we had a $300,000 house, but if we can sell it for $350,000, we're going to go ahead and move. Those huge price jumps or price increases like that have caused a lot of inflation in the housing. So the Fed is trying to destruct that. They're trying to get prices back down. So what is going on right now? The Fed has effectively done this. They have gotten the median prices dropped in our market from $225 per square foot to $215 a foot. But what we're seeing, Barry Habib said this, we have probably hit a bottoming. And what that means is he's predicting rates are going to they've settled down. In September, October were probably the highest. What do you say, 7.1%? Now they're coming down to the mid 6s. Well, as inflation goes down, mortgage rates are going to come down. So the Fed started this. They started this campaign raising rates in March. It takes about 6 to 9 months to get that into the economy, the feel and the slowdown from it. So they've raised the rates probably 4 or 5 times since then. So we're going to feel more of this next year of the slowdown. But the good news is if you're wanting to buy a house, recessions they attract lower mortgage rates. So next year, people have forecasted at one time, here's how ridiculous it got. Because of inflation, they were just unaware of where it was going to get. It peaked at about 9%. That's a very high, scary number because of how fast things kept rising in terms of price. They were predicting, a lot of people, I heard 8, 9, 10% mortgage rates. Well, a lot of the same people now, they were wrong. Now they're predicting, what are you about to do? Sneeze? About to yawn? Yeah, you sleeping? Now, I even saw Fannie Mae is predicting 4.5% interest rates or mortgage rates next year. There's only one person that has been saying this all along. There's only been one person that I follow that has predicted these mortgage rates are going to come down that low. Yes, sir.
I was going to ask, since you've been in the real estate business, what's the highest you've seen the mortgage rate?
Jake, that is a good question. And I'm going to say, man, I haven't seen many 7s.
Right at 7, right after the recession, I think.
I have not seen many. We have not seen a high rate environment because the government, they can do things to manipulate that a little bit. So what they've done is they've kept those. They really have done a good job of understanding inflation. You know.
I think I bought a house in '99 and I had to adjust.
So there are things that come along out there to where you can buy points, or you can do 2-1 buy downs or different things, or you can find a different program that's like interest only. But we were in a very high rate environment. When rates get that high, it stops refinances and it also stops purchases. So a lot of the people in the mortgage business, they've had a terrible year. I mean, a lot of them probably have been off anywhere from 30 to 50%. I don't think that's going to continue next year. Here's what I see next year happening for a lot of people is whenever the government gave out all that money, people were spending it. They were going on trips. My buddy Nagy, his Florida house, he says it usually rents about 28 to 32 times per year. And that's a week. 28 to 32 times per year, or 28 to 32 weeks. Well, since COVID, it's rented like 48 weeks out of the year. People had this money. People are probably supposed to be working, and they're not. They're like you and Edward, whenever y'all are supposed to be. What have y'all been doing today, by the way?
Getting the office doing things.
No, they're interior decorators today. Danny Ward, when the target moves, you just have to know when to adjust your aim. I agree 100%. But here's how I'm going to wrap the show up. The Fed looks at inflation, and today when they're talking, they're looking at old data. They're looking at data that's probably 60 days old. And what's scary about them, and maybe this is just how they have to do it, but they're looking at, like Barry Habib describes it like if you're on a roller coaster. Have you ever ridden a roller coaster?
Sure.
Well, like if you're on one of them roller coasters and they peak up here, like sometimes you're still going up and sometimes people are coming down already. A lot of the inflation is already starting to really come down today, present time. It's coming down. But by the lagging thing from 60 days ago, they're still sitting there saying inflation's too high. We're going to have to continue to raise rates. Here's the bad part about them continuing to raise the rates is how much it will slow down in the next 6 months. It takes about 6 months for a rate hike or a decline or a rate cut to be affected. You following what I'm saying? So a lot of what they've done, it's like I feel like they've killed an animal. Let's say you're a horse, and you broke your leg. What do we have to do to him?
Shoot him.
Why?
He's no good.
The man is no good. The only way we can get rid of him is shoot him. And where do we want to shoot him?
Right in the head.
Right in the old head. Then he's dead, right? Well, the Fed has now gone after we shot this horse in the head. Now they're filling up his body full of lead. See what I'm saying? All this stuff. So what they're doing today, what they've been doing the last couple months, it's gonna really impact the economy. I don't know, like in Florida, maybe there won't be as many weeks rented. Maybe you can get a place down there, but there's going to be a lot less money circulating. Hello, Shannon Wheeler. Thank you for getting on here. Cousin Noah, what's shaking? There will be a whole lot less money in the system next year. And I feel like real estate we've been in a recession. And we've been in a recession, I think, since March. And when you hear recession, it's not like the 2008 recession where things just stopped. But a recession means, like, if you're going 60 miles an hour and you get down to 50, you have receded 10 miles an hour. Well, if you're selling 500 homes a month and you start selling 450, that is by definition, that is a recession. I feel like this year it's gotten a lot harder because prices have gone up and rates have gone up, and it's so we're seeing the real estate destruction that they wanted. But I'm believing, here's my prediction, that by March, Fed will finally see where inflation is and where it's headed. The bond market is what sets these mortgage rates. They're going to see that inflation looks a lot better, and I believe going into March, which is our prime time selling season, you're going to start to see 5.0, let's say to 5.25% mortgage rates. And then the beautiful part of this is we got a lot of demand. Remember, at one time we had less than 200 homes for sale in our market, in our county. Now we're going to have about 1,400 or 1,500 homes for sale. So the agents that can get through, if they can just get through this, and if you're collecting people to work with, whenever it's time for them to work with, I'm predicting it's going to be a grand old time starting in March. Do you follow what I'm saying? Because there's whenever things stop moving in real estate, people are having sex. Are you going? I don't know if you will or not tonight, but people have been having sex every night. And when they have sex, what do they have?
Kids.
Whenever they have a kid, a household formation has got to be created. Whenever that stops, it's going to create more pent-up demand, and by March, I'm telling you, it won't look like last year, but March is going to be a huge surge. Lower rates, more homes on the market. If you're in the business and you've been in it for a while, it's going to be a beautiful, as the Trumpster would say, it's going to be beautiful. Van Grafton, shut us down.